everyone, welcome back. Today I thought we would do a color palette, and we are going to do pink deep and yellow deep, and then of course white and black. So I'm using those Blick Matte Paints because they're nice and they're cheaper than using, say, like artist paints, but they're better quality than craft paint. Ooh, okay, this was not the color I expected. Let me tell you, this yellow, that's a color that I've only pulled out for you guys. That is a color that I definitely never would pick for myself. I look at this bottle and think, ooh. And so I am looking to be as pleasantly surprised and delighted with the colors that we get today as you are. So this is also a modified, I'm gonna say modified Zorn palette, because as I was looking at my paints on the wall over here, I was thinking, what do I want to paint today? And then I thought, you know, I loved that Zorn palette so much that I'd kind of like to explore it in more and more different ways, and especially with different types of supplies. So I'm just mixing in more and more white to see the different shades that we can get. But yeah, you know, eventually I would love to have a book, one of these with all my different art supplies. So in this book I'm playing with the matte paints, but in the next book maybe I'll play with, you know, some of my artist paints, and then in some of them maybe I'll play with gouache. And even though this is not really a watercolor book, I have had people in my group say that they've done watercolor in theirs and it warps the pages, but it does okay. So I'm like, okay, that's kind of interesting, good to know. Let's go ahead and start mixing some of this blue, this pink with this yellow, and just see, are there any colors. One of these is transparent because that sure does show a lot of the underneath through these, but the white is making it more opaque. So just interesting things. And I'm just adding more and more of the pink to this mixture to get us a variety, and then I'll go back and start adding in some white. Let's add some more yellow in that first iteration of that. Yeah, see, that white almost instantly gives you more opacity there. Okay, the colors are getting prettier as I've added the white in some of these. This palette, it's very interesting. I don't know if I love it as much as that earlier one, but I do like it a lot. Okay, that was kind of pretty with more yellow added in there. Yeah, that is pretty. Okay, let's go and add some white in with our pink deep, and then I'll get to adding the black to all of those. I'm going a little slower on adding all the colors in because I really did want to see more variations in this color setup to give me a really good idea of what we were going to get. To see if we were even going to like any of these. Alright, let's start with the yellow up here and do some black in that. That was a lot of black. There we go. Yeah, see, that just makes the yuckiest color. It's like an army green, so maybe it's not too bad. Maybe we'll add a little white into that and see. When you're doing this type of project, you can be real exact if you need to be, but I want to do it with low stress and low pressure. Okay, it's definitely in the green family. Look at that. So instead of being super exact, and kind of holding my feet to the fire with different ratios and stuff. I just want to mix and have fun and say, oh, look at this range I can get. I didn't mean to do that in white, I meant to do that in black. Let's try that again. All right, we're going to pull this mix over here. There we go. And a little bit of black in there. But I just want to know, like, here's what I can get, and then if I ever need to come back and mix specific colors, I know where I started and we can play from there. All right, let's put some white in that and see what we get. We got a pretty gray. So the mix is really dark there. All right, let's add some black in with this, just that pink color. It's just kind of fun to see, like, look what this does when I'm doing this. Okay, that was awfully dark. Let's add some white in there. Oh, see, now this is a really pretty purple. Kind of wasn't expecting the purple. I mean, I guess I should have, because the other Zorn palette was very purple, but pink and black and a little bit of white gives us the pretty purple. Okay, that's very interesting. So now we're going to play with the colors on our palette. Let me pull the tape up first. Don't let me forget to pull the tape before it really cements itself to our page and tears our paper. Alright, so I really love some of these colors that we got. I love this right up here, which is kind of in the opera pink kind of look. I do like the army green now that it's there. I like the green shades. I love this purple down here. I love this orange that we started to get. So this was a little brighter than the original Zorn palette that we did, but man, super duper cool. There we go. These are just so exciting to me. Like, I've truly loved the color palette challenge here that we've been doing with these limited palettes. The amazing resource book that we're creating here in these lovely journals, which I never would have had this or done this project if Dina Wakley and Ranger had not come out with this journal replica of the original journal that she found. I would not have been doing this with y'all, because this, as soon as I got it and had it in my hands, let's put some gesso down because I like the way it mixes with the acrylic paint to make it spreadable. Yeah, we would not have done this at all. This, as soon as I held it in my hand and I did it in that art haul, the idea like came to me. I mean, it was just very inspirational, feeling it in my hands and thinking, what would be the best use of this book? What would be cool? And then it just came to me. And look at what we've accomplished already. I mean, we've done over 20 layouts in this now. And it's the most incredible color reference library that you could create for yourself. Create the color palette. Create a piece as an example of what that color palette can do for you. And it's just super interesting. And this has been the most fun way to play and experiment with color mixing that really I've ever tried, because color mixing, some people love it, some people hate it. I go through my little periods of love-hate with it, because a lot of the color mixing, people make it so hard. You got to be exact, 50% this, 25% that, given ratios, and I'm like, that's why I buy convenience colors and play with color challenges with the color already mixed sometimes, because I'm like, why does this got to be so hard? But this has been the thing that's unlocked that in my mind for me and made this a much more lovely experience. I'm gonna move some of these around with my bowl scraper. See what I can get those to do. Just cause I love my silicone bowl scraper. Okay, so that's very interesting. We've left out a few of these colors. Just because we picked this color palette doesn't mean we have to use all those colors. And at the same time, these were very interesting, and I hate not to use some quantity of that. So, I mean, I'm almost looking at these thinking, could we fit those in somehow? But I don't know. Maybe that should be like a stencil on top, because I'm kind of looking at it up here thinking, do I want to add that in? And see, we can even add more other stuff to it, like over here. I'm kind of thinking with our stencils, I've got a whole horde of little bitty stencils. I went through my box of stencils with the Tim Holtz and the Crafters Workshop stencils, and I actually had more Stencil Girl stencils hiding in there, and I thought I need to get these out and put them in my Stencil Girl book. So these are Stencil Girl, and this one is Stencil Club January 2019 with Seth Apter. And so let's do some of this in here with these newly. I'm going to have to be careful because the paint's still wet. And if you stick the stencil too hard down on wet paint, it does tend to pull the top layer of the book. So you got to be careful. That paint needs to be dry mostly. But look at that. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Okay, I feel that. I got all kinds of fun ones that I came across. This is super fun right here. I'm almost wanting to do that in like a darker, like that, maybe that purpley with the black mixed in. So maybe if we take a little bit of red and black and have that over here, just mix it with your blending brush and get that color that you want. Okay, I'm liking that. Feeling like right through here where I did these, but maybe a little, maybe even overlapping them. Ooh, I'm feeling like an overlap. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Let's kind of pull this one over here off the edge and kind of come in a little bit right there. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, new favorite. I love this one. I love this one. This one is also January 2019 set. This Apter and Shaw. So I guess they had a little hand in both doing that. Mary Beth Shaw, the owner of Stencil Girl, and Seth Apter. He does a lot of cool stuff. Okay, I think I need some more white. Oh, I got white paint. That's gesso. This is paint over here. You have to be on the Stencil Club page to see any of these Stencil Club ones. You just scroll down that page and look at these down there. They are not on the regular pages of their website, and they don't have a name. That's the name. January 2019. So you just scroll down that page there on that site to see any of those. So now let's just dig through. What do we got? Kind of thinking white. What do you think? Like white, not just that gray that I just did, but maybe some white. I don't know. I'm kind of feeling that pink. The pink was pretty. Do we want some of this? Not quite punchinella. These kind of dirtied up, kind of circly things. Kind of. Oh, yeah. That's cool. Okay, so this one is S355 Wolf, WOOLF. You don't know how many things I've dropped today. Today is the day I'm going to drop everything I touch. I almost wondered if I should just go back to bed with the amount of things that I dropped before I even got breakfast done. I was like, what's going on today? Okay, I love the pink. Kind of feel like, okay, so what was that? Did I tell you? Yeah, S355 Wolf. I have linked all my favorites on a blog page on my website, and I've linked that page down below. So if you're seeing anything that I'm using look interesting, along with my Princeton Umbria number 8 Filbert and number 12 round brush that I'm always using on these, check out that link, and then you can see what all these things I'm using. It was easier to link it all on a web page once than me search down the links every other day, which is what I've been doing this whole time. Gonna pull out some little acrylic markers because I think we've got some of these colors in here. These are the Arctics ones, and so I'm still trying to stay in my color palette, and at the same time maybe do some other mark making with acrylic paints, so we're still within our color palette when we're doing on this particular book. I do try to stay right in here if I can. Because I kind of wanted some little marks or scribbles, just a little bit, not a bunch, but a tiny bit just in there. So pretty pink. Ooh, I could do white dots. White dots are kind of calling my name, and then maybe we'll be there. And then that'll let me pull back in more of a true white because my Posca pen, because we've kind of wiped out any true white. Yeah, some of the longest part of making a video was hunting down all the links. So I've put all the ones that I'm using. Most of everything is on that favorites page. So if you're looking for anything I'm using, check that out. I've linked to that below the video for you. Ooh, that's super fun. Alright, so we could add more stuff in there, but I kind of feel like we're there. We've got down what it is that we were using. Let's see, pink deep, yellow, yellow deep, white, and black. So I do try to list that because otherwise I forget what I started with, but hey, that's pretty cool. Kind of liking where we went today with that. My goal on these is not to make a masterpiece. It's just to have fun and play and see what we can end up with. And I'm kind of digging that. So I hope you enjoyed painting with me today. And I'll see you guys next time.